I wanted to come on here and make this video because a couple days ago on my Twitter account, I had made a post and said that, let me pull it up. It says that, dear black people, you can be conservative and not be a coon at the same time. And I had like some very interesting responses and everything like that, but I also had some people that tried to give me a little bit of pushback because they saw the word conservative. And see, this is what happens when a word like this gets lost in translation and it gets jumbled up and it gets bastardized and it gets turned into something that is not what it originally was. So this is the definition of conservative, or at least one of them, but this is the definition I was referring to. What does conservative mean? Definition: 1. Favoring preservation of the existing order. 2. Moderate, prudent, cautious. 3. Traditional in manner or style. 4. Tending to conserve or preservative. And I can give a couple examples of black people being conservative on a social level. Not so much a political level, maybe, but on a social level. 1. Wanting to conserve the black family. Basically, you know how people say that we should be with our own, mating with our own, procreating with our own. That's conservatism. Wanting tangibles and reparations for black people, particularly black Americans. That's conservatism. Yelling black first is conservatism because you're putting your people before anybody else. I can go on and on and on, but those three right there stick out the most to me because those are the three that get shouted out the most out of all of them. And there's so many more. Some of you have conservative values within your own household. Some of you have conservative values maybe if you own your own business. And some, like I said, many of you are conservative by nature, but don't even realize it because, like I said, it's not your fault. It's because it got lost in translation and it got jumbled up and turned into whatever it is now. That's why you have some people who was conservative as on a political level who have left because it's become jumbled up. A perfect example of that would be the amazing Lucas. Notice that I keep mentioning him lately more and more now. And if you watch some of his streams, he'll tell you why he has, like, his stance has changed on a lot of things, especially after what happened with George Floyd last year. Because, you know, at one point he was in that bubble and in that space, but then he started to see it for what it was, at least the bastardized version of it. And he stepped back, and that's why his subscriber count dropped tremendously. Like, I remember when he was at like 400 and he was like almost at 400 and maybe 60,000 subscribers. He is now at like 390 something. They kept dropping because he switched his message up to something that was actually more correct rather than what the so-called conservative wanted to hear. When you have like those right-wing conservatives and people like the Grifting Princess and Brandon Fakums and all of them people, those are not true conservatives. Especially the Coonstress and Brandon Fagan, those are grifters. They're only doing this for the money. That Ty Smith, aka the Modern Renaissance Man, another grifter. And see, they use those type of people to try to sway black people to the Republican or the conservative side. But the thing is, they're not even conservatives. They're not real conservatives anyway. They're not conserving a damn thing except for their position to buck dance, eat butter biscuits, shuck and jive, and act a damn fool for money. That's all they're conserving, is their money, is their pockets. I've done several videos were showing just that. So don't get it twisted when it comes to talking about conservatism and everything like that, because they are two totally different things between a true conservative and a fake one. And like I said, a lot of black people have conservative values and don't even realize it. And they talk about the stuff every day. And I just gave you 3 examples of it. And like I said, you can be a conservative or have conservative values and you don't have to buck dance. When I talk about you know, reparations and, you know, black first and the black family and all of that stuff like that, or being pro-black, that is probably one of the highest forms of being a black conservative on a social level. The Black Panther Party, the Black Panthers, conservative. Malcolm X. A lot of the people that we idolize were conservative. It's just that a lot of them were not conservative as far as a political party, and that's where the lines begin to blur. So you need to take the political aspect out of it and look at the social aspect of it. That's where most black people are conservative at, if they're not conservative anywhere else. Socially or on a moral level, conservative is where a lot of black people dwell. Now, when you start having these black feminists and all these intersectionality ones, those are not conservative. Those are liberals. Now they're on a liberal aspect where, you know, all lives matter. They got to put everybody else before the group, or they have to put being a woman before the group. That's when you start heading into the liberal aspect. Because the conservative means that you're thinking of the group. Liberal means you're thinking of everybody else but the group or yourself. Interesting, right? How that works. Because a lot of people think conservatives are extremely selfish. But if you're for the group and for the impact of the group, how selfish are you? Like, you got to really put that in perspective. And that's why a lot of people are now realizing that a lot of people who are liberal are some of the most evil people on the planet. But I just had to put that into perspective for some people, because some people were just so lost on what it was. And it just got, like I said, got jumbled up and lost in translation. And I don't want people to like get lost like that. And I know I'm not the only one that did. That's why sometimes when I post questions like this on Twitter, it actually helps me create a video idea like this one right here, because this wasn't even a topic I even planned on discussing. But when I'm feeding off of the responses to come up with this commentary. Now, there might be some people that might agree, and there might be some people that disagree. But I love the dialogue, because, you know, we can see where it is, and somewhere we might meet in the middle. It is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video on that note right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll talk to you in the next one.